Yellow. What's going on, y'all? We are doing political debates. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hello, Salad. Hello. We are doing political debates, and if you're a Trump supporter, I would love to debate you. I would love to hear why I should support Trump. We are finally back from our nanner. And we are trying to do some debates. Hello, Abigail. Hello, D. The Pickle Meister. I'll take that. We have our pickle cam loaded, by the way. Pickles is just a lounging. We just went for a little walk. And we're just ready for a nice little Wednesday. I think I'm going to be cutting off. I mean, it's not even worth mentioning. I'll be cutting off probably before, but I'm going to go see the Odyssey tonight. I'm excited. Let's tap the screen, y'all. If y'all are friendlies, tap the screen. Let's get to 10K. Whew. Oh, I knew what I was going to do. I was going to make my food before I came live, but you know what? It's too late. Parker, you probably followed me in your sleep or something. You probably watched me. You're like, dang, this guy's fucking awesome. He did it subconsciously. What's up, Wes? Frankie G with the follow. Thank you. How's it going, YouTube? Welcome. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you're on YouTube. Let's early engagements, the best kind of engagements. I hope everybody's having a good day. Yeah, I don't think buying follows works like that either. Trump's the best president ever. Sure. It should be real easy to come up here and tell me why then. Like, it should be pretty easy. I feel like MAGA's really dying, not even just being antagonistic. I feel like MAGA is dying. I don't think they have much to say when they do come up here. They're just obsessed with his personality. The fact he's a billionaire, the fact that he says horrible shit, and that he rules with an iron fist. But it's all bad. I think it's all bad. I hope everybody's having a good Wednesday, though. Happy hump day, y'all. We are looking for Trump supporters, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, libertarians. Hello. Open borders. What's up, Iowa? What do you want to talk about today, man?
Hey, so I got a stupid question for you. I got in an argument with one of my buddies about this. And he was saying, because my buddy's a liberal, doesn't matter, but we just got in a stupid conversation on the golf course about this. He says that you cannot be a good person and still laugh at racist jokes. I argued that you could be a good person and still laugh at a racist joke, even though you're not. I don't think laughing at a racist joke makes you a racist person. Do you think it does?
I think it's a weird gray area. So I think that if it's like if I were to make a joke about white people and some of the tropes that white people carry or some of the stereotypes of white people, I feel like that is in good taste. I don't think that's like an illegal move. But I feel like if you do joke and laugh about stereotypes about other races, that might not be great.
Well,
Um,
from what I've been told, that you cannot be racist towards white people. That's what I've been told by like everybody for some reason. I don't believe
uh,
that, but I don't believe
I
that.
agree with that. I agree with that. I don't think
Okay,
that there's like a
that's
system of
fine.
power that like a white person would be oppressed by.
Yeah, but yeah, like I had like me and him actually got like a big argument about this because like we were sitting there and we were talking about like some of our favorite like movies that would never exist today, and I said Blazing Saddles is one of them. It's a hilarious movie. And he goes, "Yeah, you cannot be a good person and like that movie." And I go, "That's just ridiculous to say."
I think you could. I mean, if you maintain this logic, you can just go a little further back into something that's like deeply racist. We can look at like early films where they wouldn't even let black people act, and it was blackface. Um, and just simply the presence of a black person and the stereotypes of them like being hypersexual or hyperviolent or just stupid, something like that, was deeply problematic. And it was funny. And it was funny for an era of people back then, but it's definitely not funny today. And if you think it's funny, I think you're a horrible person. And I think that in 20, 30, 50, 100 years, like our sense of humor around racist jokes will be completely different. I think the treadmill of like what's acceptable is going to change entirely.
Yeah. But like, have you seen Blazing Saddles? Do you know the movie I'm talking about?
I think I have. I don't really remember it though.
Yeah, it's a Mel Brooks movie. Like Mel Brooks is like one of the most celebrated comedians of all time. Like he's literally like considered the godfather of comedy. But he used to make some racist movies that are like racist jokes in movies. But they're still funny. I don't know. Like I said, I was kind of torn between that. I think that you can laugh at jokes and not believe that it's true, but it's a joke, so it's still funny.
Yeah, I think that like in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, like it won't be funny to anybody. Some of those jokes. I don't know. I might agree with your friend a little bit here. I'd agree with your friend. Like the racist jokes that I heard 10 years ago, even they're not funny at all to me anymore. And it definitely involves like marginalizing and stereotyping people in a way that is harmful and that causes like real world consequences for those groups today. Like even when we talk about like gay people, right? Like even just being called gay used to be like
Yeah.
funny to people. It still is to most people on the right. Like just pointing at someone saying you're gay. To people on the left, I think we've like matured societally like far past that, and
Yeah, see, that's
now
another
it's
one
not
that I'm kind
funny.
of that's another one that I'm kind of curious about. So like the R word, right?
Yeah,
Like we used to say that all the time. Like if somebody said something like, "No, that's R word," like I'm not gonna do that. I don't. Uh, People say that's like ableist or whatever. I don't understand that. I really don't.
it's just hateful. It involves a lot of hate, and
I'm
it's
not so
derogatory.
what I would say would be hateful and derogatory is if you went and found somebody who was like mentally handicapped and said that to them. Yeah, that's hateful.
And said
But
what?
and was said like your R word. Like if you said that to like a mentally handicapped person, yeah, that's hateful. But if you're just saying it like in the context of like something you just like think is
I heard Oscar talk about this the other day, and I kind of agree with him. Like the treadmill of euphemisms. Um, we will consistently like be dumping types of euphemisms that we deem hateful that are used derogatorily towards certain groups, and I don't think that the R word is necessary to identify a certain type of person, and it definitely includes like some sort of hate, some sort of like underlying like negative nature. So I think we could do without it. I think that we could like
yeah, no,
be more
like I said,
specific.
I'm not trying to identify like a person. Like I'm trying to identify like say like a buddy of mine went and did something that makes absolutely zero sense and I'm just like that's ridiculous. Like why would you ever do that? I would say that's R word.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, sure. So, like, what you're saying is you're essentially associating like a negative action or a bad way of thinking to a whole group of people. And I think
It
both
has
of
nothing to
like,
do with people though.
I think it does.
It doesn't. It doesn't. But hey, I appreciate your time, Pickles. Love your show, buddy. I do got to drop down though.
All right, man. Take it easy. Yeah, I feel like you could be more politically correct when saying those
Hello?
type of things. Hello, are you over 18?
Yes, I'm 21.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
I just want to say I don't like Trump, but I just wanted to say thank you for speaking your voice against people that don't have a voice. I just want to say thank you. Fuck Trump. Fuck ICE.
Fuck yeah. W.
All right, bye.
Yeah, our words dated and ugly. I think it's insensitive. And I like you can like I imagine like what do you associate with that word when you say it? Like that's R worded. You think of like like that low IQ like I guess association to like all different types of mental like disorders. Uh I don't think I don't think it's helpful. I feel like it's mean. I feel like if you really like the real purpose of that word is to be like, "Oh, you're this and I feel like it really hits a nerve when you say it to somebody, but I don't think it's warranted. I don't think it's good. Reset gift goal. Oh. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
I mean, what's not to like about him? He's doing a lot of good policies that are going to help humanity.
Oh man. Okay, you got any good ones for me?
Yeah, he's accelerating the AI infrastructure build out. Pretty good.
Sure. Do you think it's a good idea for us to stop states from being able to write legislation to protect people like I don't know, from AI to create like child pornography images, for instance? Do you think it'd be a good idea for us to be able to do that?
Well, do you think it's more important to stop the states from stopping data center build outs, or do you think it's more important to save 10 million lives per year from cancer?
I mean, that's a huge contingency, right? Like, I think that maybe we can do that, but I don't think that that's an ultimatum we have to face. Like, we could do data centers responsibly. For instance, data centers, they're not. Most of them are not profitable, so they're doing them in the most like wasteful waste possible to minimize spending. When you talk about like water, the use of water, instead of doing closed water or cooling systems, they're just shedding water, and we can see what it's done to plenty of states and communities around the United States already. It's pretty
Well,
bad.
new data centers are integrating closed loop cooling systems.
You said no?
No, new ones. New ones.
New ones? Cool.
Yeah.
Then that's great. That's great. I don't.
Yeah,
I
so
don't.
if Trump's accelerating the build out of these new facilities that have less water waste and closed loop direct to chip cooling, well, that solves a lot of your issues right there. And then if simultaneously the AI is unlocking technologies and medical advancements that are going to save millions of people per year, well, then you'd have to weigh your desire for less noise in certain areas versus millions of lives every year.
Cool. I just don't trust Trump to be the most ethical person to implement any of these policies. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. So,
well, he's not implementing the policies. The top hyperscalers, those are the ones that are building these out. He's just getting out of their way. Whereas Kamala Harris,
so he doesn't really get any points for this.
Well, no. He approved like 100% tax cuts for like qualified AI infrastructure projects, for example. So he's giving massive incentives to the experts, the hyperscale experts, to do this. In addition to that, he kept the corporate tax rate down to 21%, which allows them to have the liquid assets to reduce risk when they create these projects. So
I don't think many people.
There's a lot that he's doing to accelerate the process here, and he's also taken away certain regulatory barriers to building these things.
Yeah, I don't trust him with any of that stuff. I think he's like the worst person to pick when coming to like consumer protections, environmental protections. He's gutted so many things, and we don't really see much of the benefit from that. Maybe companies do. Companies see a higher profit margin, but I don't think it accelerates much. I don't think. Also, these tax breaks. If you want to grow your business, you can just spend that money. And it's tax reducible too. I think that most Republicans don't really understand or care about the budget. And I don't let them get away with talking about these types of things without making them acknowledge the fucking debt. The debt is insane. The debt is so bad. Republicans have fucked up the economy every time they've been in control. I don't really get to give y'all any props. I don't really care to.
Well, if you're talking about its impact on debt and profitability, I mean, as more countries are realizing the inevitability of AI and its implications in terms of how it's going to be able to be a attack vector against their security infrastructure, they're all going to have to adopt a AI defense network, and to do that, they'd have to build out an AI infrastructure themselves. However, 90% of the countries are incapable of hyperscaling the way that the U.S. and China, for example, are. So they're going to have to embed themselves in an ecosystem. And
Sure.
to embed themselves in our ecosystem, they're going to be spending massive amounts of defense funding specifically for us to house their network defense, which has a two-pronged, benefit. One, it's going to get major cash flow to the United States, and two, it's going to ensure long-lasting geopolitical relationships where we essentially hold the cards in these relationships.
Yeah, I still don't think
I know what I'm talking about, buddy.
I don't think Trump is the only one capable of doing like sensible legislation around this, especially since like Kamala and Biden passed the Chips and Science Act, and Trump has done everything he can to just work against it and try to call it BS or whatever. I think there's a responsible way to do these things, and just a big, huge, loose 21% or a reduction to 21% federal tax rates for companies or corporations, I don't think was the greatest idea. If we wanted to target specifically just AI and allow them to have even deeper like subsidiaries, then I'd be fine with that. But just giving it to fucking everyone and bankrupting the country was not a great idea. And I think Trump has fucked up our relationship with just about every meaningful country out there. So I don't buy that either. Trump, nobody likes us on the world stage.
Well, the corporate tax rate, he didn't reduce it. He just maintained what it already was. And
he did in his first administration.
The reason that we have that is that between the federal flat corporate tax rate and other costs, state and whatnot, the effective rate is actually competitive with the rest of the developed world. If we were to increase our flat rate to 28%, and then it would increase our effective rate to near 35%, we'd be well above the rest of the world, which would decrease investment here.
Yeah, but we could target subsidiaries if we wanted, like AI, there are certain companies that are the richest in the world here still, and if we wanted them to stay, we can give subsidies. We could do that. We do targeted subsidies, but Trump gave big, huge, loose, sloppy tax breaks, and it cost us. We're at 122% debt versus GDP right now, and Trump is 27% of all of this country's debt. And I just don't see it paying out. Like, we have mild growth. We have every single macroeconomic indicator is upside down since Biden. You're basically telling me to eat a shit sandwich and that it's great.
Well, no, I wouldn't want you to eat a shit sandwich. I would want you to eat healthy food, which is another problem. We're one of the most obese countries on the planet, and Trump's helping with that too.
I don't believe that either. Trump is creating
so
more.
Your argument so far has been, I don't believe. So it just.
And I've given rebuttals. If that's all you've taken away from it, that's on you. But
so it just boils down to you just don't believe the things that are factually happening right now.
No, I have rebuttals for all of these things. I can talk about the screwworm. I can talk about Trump dumping pesticides into our farming industry.
Well,
I could talk about
that too.
I could talk about Trump trying to legalize asbestos last year. Asbestos. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about anyone's health.
Yeah, so screwworms were already coming up here back from 2022. They had already broken the natural barrier in Central America by 2023. then they were projected. They were already.
So it was perfect timing for us to cut all that stuff.
No, they were already projected to get here by 2025. So if you're talking about that, then okay, we can talk about screw worm. And we can talk about
whatever,
because I'm sure
was that a good time to cut that program?
No, I'm sure your implication was that because U.S. aid cuts, but U.S. aid cuts didn't happen until well after the Doge cuts, U.S. aid, that happened well after screw worms were already projected to get here by 2025 based off of the migratory patterns that were already existing.
You don't get points for cutting it after that. That's even worse, right? If there was projection for them to come to our border, and he cut the screw worm program.
Regardless of the U.S. aid funding for screw worms, they were coming either way. It was already happening.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, you're just like saying stabbing someone's not so bad because that person's going to die in 30 years anyway.
Well, it's not about dying in 30 years. We were funding screw worm preventative things, and regardless of our funding, didn't matter how much money we were throwing at it. They had already broken through the barrier in Central America. They were already projected to get here by 2025. This is a
huge cope. How much is he going to spend now?
What's
the new budget? What's the new budget to fight screw worms right now? What's the projected cost?
It doesn't matter how much money you throw at it, because we were already throwing money at it. You see,
$1 billion is the answer. $1 billion.
Regardless of how much money we were throwing at it, they were still coming.
Yeah, I'm not sold on this. That just means we need to increase spending.
I understand you don't believe factually things that were happening. I understand, but that seems to be a pattern here with you.
So if they're encroaching on us, that means we need to increase programs, not cut them, right? Am I wrong here?
No, you don't. Do you understand how the money wasn't stopping it? And no matter how much money you throw at it, you're not going to stop it.
So Trump's attempt to $1 billion right now is a bad idea?
Sometimes the best way to stop it, or the only way to stop it, is to allow it to reach the point where you've already got the built-in infrastructure necessary to stop it, which would be here. We don't have enough control over the infrastructure in random places in South America.
We used to have a lot more with the USDA, the new program. Since I think he's cut a lot of programs there, but no, it's just voluntary, right? So if a farmer thinks they have screw worms, they can send some shit over to a lab, and then the lab would say, yeah, you got it, and you need to shut down. So I just don't trust farmers to do that. I don't think that's a great system. I don't think that Trump cutting costs so that we can spend more later is also a good idea. I think this is Republican logic. It's sad. You're trying to sell this to us.
No, you're saying that we were already spending the required amount of money. I just proved that was wrong. So what is your plan, to go back in time and increase spending that we send over there to $2 billion, $3 billion?
No, it was a few million.
The problem is we can't go back in time.
We can say that it was a bad idea. That's called a criticism. That's saying, hey, I admit that was a bad idea.
No, but it was happening. It was already happening. It was already here before the Doge cuts.
Yeah, so the Doge cut was a bad idea, right?
The Doge cut made no impact on screw worm migration.
It absolutely did. It probably got here sooner, right? Uncontrolled. No, it's all the way in New Mexico, right? It's north of me in Texas.
With the amount of money we were spending in U.S. aid for this problem, they had already predicted that it was going to get here at the exact time that it did get here. They were already predicting that.
Perfect. So now that we cut that, we're going to spend $1 billion. That is a great strategy. Great strategy. It's a great cope. Also, we can just talk about many other things. Trump cutting FDA regulations, causing outbreaks of listeria. Trump approving all sorts of ways for oil companies to cut corners and maximize their profits. We don't get a penny of that. We don't get any sort of increased or I guess decreased pricing for oil.
Do you sell oil?
No. Do you?
Then why would you get a penny from oil production?
Exactly. So why are we giving them, by the way, and also subsidizing the absolute living fuck out of them? Why are we doing that?
Do you work on an oil rig?
No.
Would you get a shit ton of money if you did?
Sure. Does the oil industry need more money?
We need more oil.
Yeah, but that didn't do that. We're still drilling the same amount, just about as much as Biden when he left.
we've increased our draw of oil and rapidly increased our draw of natural gas. What are you talking about?
Now, we're like at 13.6 million barrels a day. Joe Biden left at 13.4. Try again.
Okay, yes, so we're running straight ahead, and our natural gas production. These things are going towards energy. We need a shit ton of energy, right?
Yeah, again, it's not ours, right? They can sell it to anybody.
Well, we don't have the refining infrastructure for oil that we need to handle all these barrels. So yes, we do end up selling a lot of it to people who do have refineries. The reason we don't have refineries is because previous administrations have been pushing us, so hard through legislation into green energy alternatives that disincentivizing people from investing in refining facilities in the first place.
You're being dishonest. That's not true. In fact, alternative energies lowered the price of oil.
That doesn't mean it gives you a big incentive for companies to invest in building massive infrastructures to refine our oil.
Yeah, you can build a refinery all you want, and I don't know, Trump oversaw one of the biggest refineries being sold to Saudi Arabia so they can sell us our own oil. That was cool. But if you want cheaper oil, you would just invest in alternative energies. You would invest into diverse like types of energies.
Well, yes, thermal, Trump just declared that energy, as a national defense imperative, which pushed through 10 new nuclear fission plants that are being built.
Yeah, after cutting billions of dollars to wind farms and solar energy and all these other things that were helpful and have effectively doubled the cost of energy for a few states.
Well, wind farms and solar farms are orders a million times less potent than the alternative clean energies that we're developing.
Doesn't matter. We need all of it.
No, we don't need all of it. Our grid was never meant to handle decentralized power going in every direction. Our grid is very outdated, and it's designed for
almost. We should invest in that infrastructure instead of cutting it.
Our grid is designed for 24/7 stable, continuous energy, which is not what wind or solar provides. And our grid does need upgrades, and we have massive grid upgrade investments because of the investments into AI.
So it's okay for us to invest in nuclear, even though our grid's not ready for it. But the other stuff, that's not good.
Nuclear is a stable, consistent energy source that we can centralize and run 24/7. So our grid is actually more prepared for that type of energy. And we are simultaneously, as we implement data centers all over the place, we are investing heavily into the electric grid upgrades.
Perfect. So I would argue that the investments into these other decentralized types of energies would also force us to have this type of infrastructure built out. I don't think you're not going to sell me that Trump's actions that increased cost of energy everywhere almost was a good idea.
Well, you can't just invest in massive grid upgrades and massive solar or wind farms.
Yeah, you can.
When there's no profitability to it.
Yeah, so you could give subsidies in it to make it profitable.
Well, I understand you can give subsidies, but we are currently giving subsidies into the AI market, which is driving the majority of the capital investment into these grid upgrades. So I agree with you that we need grid
also
upgrades.
Giving big, fat, loose, sloppy tax breaks to the richest of the rich while increasing taxes on 95% of Americans.
Well, the tax breaks are for them. Instead of giving that money directly to the United States government, they're giving that money directly to grid upgrades.
Yeah, no, it's maybe like 1% is, but no.
Massive. The whole reason the tax break exists, we don't just give out tax breaks like, oh, well, you know what? I kind of like you. Here's a tax break. The reason we give it is because, I see that you, instead of sending us taxes in the form of dollars, you put all that money into building a data center.
I understand what a subsidy is. I'm saying Trump gave a tax break to everyone when he lowered the tax rate for companies from 35 to 21 and basically just gave everyone free money. Meanwhile, we're in a huge deficit. We're in the biggest deficit ever, and you guys will never responsibly raise taxes to start closing the deficit.
You don't need to raise taxes to close the deficit.
You
You just need to increase GDP to the point that
we
we are
haven't
outpacing
seen
any
any
debt.
we haven't seen any meaningful increase to the GDP from these tax cuts. We have analysis of these. That's not a thing.
We wouldn't even be in debt if we had comparable obesity rates to the rest of the world.
Obesity, you think, is causing all of the debt?
Do you not know how it impacts our healthcare spending, our availability of labor force, like chronic illness? Like
So you're for single-payer healthcare?
You understand that economies are all interconnected. Every single piece affects
Yeah,
others.
so you're for single-payer healthcare.
So if you have a severely obese population, you understand how that has massive ripple effects across the entire economy.
What is Trump doing to stop obesity?
Well, currently they have a federal definition of ultra processed foods awaiting approval at the White House, and once that happens, it gives us the ability to litigate against corporations that are pumping our grocery stores full of ultra processed food, because we can claim that they are not properly warning the public against the dangers of their food, which is going to have them put front of package warning labels on these foods, which is going to drive a massive shift in consumer behavior, which forces these companies to then change their formulas.
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, Trump's FDA commissioner just stepped down because he forced his hand on approving the use of flavored nicotine in sunbeds for kids.
Flavored nicotine for kids? What are you talking about?
Not flavored nicotine for kids. The FDA commissioner says he's doing things that he can't even stomach, and he's leaving. No one believes that Trump is actually doing things for the greater good. In fact, I just saw that Mr. Global made a post about this. There are apps in other countries that you can use to scan to see if a product's made in America, because yes, our food is so shit and processed, but that's against the will. That's because of Republicans and conservatives. The left loves consumer protections, and for everything y'all add, and this is a thing Trump did, for every restriction that we put on companies, every regulation, we have to cut 10. Make it make sense.
Well, this is not a Republican issue.
It is.
Like a major way. I mean, we spend more on food welfare than any other country on the planet. Just
per capita.
Just leveraging our SNAP program alone against these corporations would be enough to force them to give us better food. If we denied, if we from a federal level said that no SNAP money could be spent on their ultra processed foods, which of course we have to define ultra processed foods first, but if we were to leverage the nearly $100 billion of funds against these corporations, unless they change their food, they would change it rapidly.
So I agree, but this is something that Democrats absolutely are for this. The second
they do not want to restrict SNAP usage. They've explicitly come out and said no. The parents need to buy their kids candy bars. You hear it all the time. They do not want to leverage it like the Republicans do.
I think that it's not for like the motive for Republicans to do this is to cut spending so they can give rich people tax breaks, not to make America healthier, because every time we actually try to put consumer regulations on companies, Republicans cry like, oh no, this is cutting into big businesses' profits. Meanwhile, you guys are signing you guys are letting the largest companies who have monopolies on these food to merge and buy each other. That we don't believe you.
Okay, another just boiling down to not believe you. I understand every single one of your arguments ends up.
I don't believe you, and then I give you P1, P2, and P3.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, P1, P2, P3. What was my P1 and P2 for that?
You think that that just because the corporations are the donor class, and that causes any politicians. You didn't mention Democrats because Democrats push against these kind of things against corporations too. But you said, well, because they cry against it, that therefore that we don't have people such as RFK Jr. In the MAGA movement who are genuinely trying to make America healthy again. But
That's-
if
that's not a
RFK
thing
Jr.
either.
wasn't if RFK Jr. wasn't genuinely trying to make America healthy again, then why would he be pursuing the definition of ultra processed foods in the first place?
I don't know. Maybe this is one of his little projects, probably against the wishes of Trump. But we have all sorts of things from Trump, like the
Huge
FDA.
project.
Yes, the FDA revoked and proposed revoking 52 obsolete food standards, quote unquote obsolete, of identity affecting dairy, baked goods, canned goods to cut red tape for fostering manufacturing innovation. Trump is the king of cutting FDA red tape for people. He is the king. Nobody has done more FDA deregulation than Trump. So no, I don't fucking believe
I
you.
understand, which is good. That's how we're getting these data centers up so fast, because
From the Food and Drug Administration?
No, just his cutting of regulations. He is
No,
uniquely
FDA.
Well, I was talking writ large.
Can you justify the FDA ones?
The FDA ones? I mean, any regulatory body that he makes cuts in, he goes in and he makes these cuts in order to accelerate good things. So while we are worried about
like listeria,
while we're worried about the potentiality of side effects or negative effects of whatever FDA regulations he did cut, if he's promoting FDA regulations against ultra processed foods, that'll have an outsized impact compared to anything that you could mention that he cut.
I don't think so. I don't think so. And
you don't think that we're obese because of our food? What source?
I think we have
our obesity.
We do have a food problem here in America, but I don't think it's all about shelved food. I don't think it's all about groceries. I think people who eat at the grocery store are far healthier than people who eat at McDonald's. I think that corporations like McDonald's and all these fast food chains, they are finding new and innovative ways to like extract as much money from everybody as they possibly can while delivering the cheapest manufactured, engineered fucking food possible. That is probably the majority of what happens.
70% of the food on the shelves of our grocery stores are considered ultra processed foods. It's not just the fast food chains. It's our entire diet. And studies show that ultra processed foods bypass our body's hormonal responses that let us know that we're full, that we're bloated, etc. And it consists of 60 to 70% of our entire diet. Especially, I think it's even higher in children. It's over 70% in children. We see a rise in childhood diabetes. I mean, it's a massive problem,
and that's another thing.
That's why we are obese as a nation.
I don't trust a DHS secretary that we constantly have to fact check. He lies about everything. He is conspiratorial, and when he talks about diabetes, for instance, he said 1 in 3 children are being diabetic. Do you think that's the truth?
You don't have to trust whatever our offhanded comment RFK Jr. says. This has been documented science for decades now. You could just look at Europe; they've already understood this.
So no, we shouldn't trust RFK when he says things like this to scare you.
I think that.
What do you think the real number is?
The real number of childhood diabetes?
Yeah.
I don't know the exact.
It's 1 in
figure.
300. 1 in 280 something.
Okay, which is a completely unacceptable amount. And then you have to look at how many are.
But he's lying right there, right?
Well, how many are at risk of diabetes?
I don't know, but he's lying right there, right?
Well, if he's confounding two different principles, if he's saying at risk, right, like risk level of diabetes versus having diabetes,
I think you can go and like I don't know, reinterpret what he says, but I don't feel like I should need to. Like, if you guys were this outraged or this chill about people misinforming the public about health, I don't get how you justify hating Dr. Fauci so much. I don't get how you've justified all the hate in the world for somebody who served this country relentlessly, who was actually qualified, who was actually a fucking medical doctor, versus some fucking weirdo who's figured out how to sue the government multiple times for BS and made.
Well, I don't want to get into Fauci, but because it's gonna just take your live down, TikTok's gonna flag it. So for RFK, I mean, yes, his entire career has been litigating against government and corporations, and that's what we need to solve this ultra processed food problem in the first place. So I don't need a doctor in that position. I need a litigator. I need someone who's going to actually drive this this litigation against these corporations and get this food out of here.
That's not the function of the DHS.
It doesn't matter what the function of the DHS. I mean, how many DHS heads have been doctors in the past? Have they? Is that even a prerequisite? Is this a trend where everyone's a doctor?
Have medical degrees. Yes, medical degrees of some sort. Instead of somebody who took heroin all throughout their medical or college career, I would prefer somebody who has something.
I don't think that is historically accurate.
Well, he said it himself, so.
Let's see. What would be a good question? Do heads of DHS historically have medical doctorate degrees? No, historically, no secretary of the Department of. I
said medical degree.
Sorry, no, I wrote that wrong. Historically, the vast majority of secretaries of health and human services have not held medical doctorate degrees. Out of the dozens of individuals who have led the department since inception, only 3 have been MDs. Because the role is primarily an administrative role and political position overseeing a massive budget. Generally we appoint individuals with backgrounds in law, governance, and public policy. So no, it has nothing to do with that. So he has a background in law. Okay.
Let's double check you. Background in medicine. No. Legal and law enforcement. Figures like Michael Chertoff, Alejandro Mayorkas. Oh God, I put DHS.
I did that too. I did the DHS one first.
Out of all the department of health, only a small minority have held medical degrees. The position does not only require medical background, as presidents typically prioritize administrative, legal, and political. The secretaries with medical background, Dr. Otis Rowan, Dr. Olasun, Dr. Tom Price. Where is Fauci? Is he just head of CDC? Either way, we have unprecedented levels of people leaving Department of Health that were actual doctors, and we just have a bunch of weird loonies that were like people who are antithetical to actual modern medicine and vaccines, people who perpetuate vaccine conspiracies, anti-vaccine rhetoric, people pushing unpasteurized milk. We see outbreaks of disease now that we haven't seen in decades, that we almost eradicated, mumps or measles, polio.
Well, we're actually leveraging AI against these vaccines too. Did you know that we currently have in clinical trials a universal corona vaccine that was developed by AI?
Cool. Will you guys trust it if it doesn't go through 300 years of studies? Are you going to trust it now that we have that you accept that we're advanced in medicine and technology enough to push things out within a year or two?
It's not a matter of trusting or not trusting. It's that, yes, the AI has the ability to see biological interactions within the human cell and its interactions with compounds in a way that humans have never been able to see. 80% of ailments are listed as undruggable purely because we don't have the ability to see the actual what's actually happening within the cell. So when you say trust a vaccine, well, it's not a trust as much as they are just seeing they found something that looks like it worked.
And we've had similar advancements in technology too that didn't involve AI. We have similar advancement technology. We push out a new fucking flu vaccine every year. You guys didn't see any problem with that. And now it's time to be conspiratorial. I don't want to get and derail our conversation, but there's nothing you're going to be able to say to make me believe that Trump is the best person in regards to DHS or Department of Health and the FDA, considering how many cuts he's made. Just to faculty alone, just to the people working in the FDA, I think it's like 20% cuts. And I just don't think that he's in it to make America healthy. I think that Trump is merely just transactional. I think that he has friends that come and lobby him and say, hey, what can we do to maximize our profits? What would it take for me, for you to, I don't know, cut the regulations surrounding boar's head meat? And he will say, you know what, $1 million my campaign. That's what I believe happens with
well, then we're boiling it down to another argument where you're just saying, well, I don't believe and I think. Where I'm trying to give you objective data about how vaccines are developed and the lack of ability to see the actual interactions with our genetic code within the cell when we implement these things. However, now, because of AI, we are able to see what's actually happening and monitor what's actually happening and simulate what's actually happening. So when you say trust the vaccine, what you're asking, and the reason that they have to release a new vaccine for flu every year is because the methodology
mutates.
But yeah, because we don't have a true foundational understanding of how the genetic codes are interacting with each other in a 3D space. And which is why I brought up the universal corona vaccine, because developed by AI, because for the first time we are seeing how the certain genetic markers are interacting with each other in 3D space, and we are like, oh,
I get the advantages of the use of AI. Trump is not this like novel person to think of this, right? I feel like this is going to happen with or without Trump. With the oversight of Kennedy or RFK, I feel like a lot of this is going to be mishandled. A lot of this is going to be completely fudged. Just by looking at the things they've done already, right? Like you can say, oh, we have this on the horizon. We have Trump going to place warning signs on ultra processed foods. That's great. That sounds cool. I don't think it makes up for all of the cuts he's made to the FDA. I don't think it makes up for putting Kennedy in the front of Department of Health and giving people fake scares about Tylenol and autism. And saying harmful things about autistic people. I don't think that we see all of the people being too scared to take actual vaccines that work, that have no reason to have skepticism around them whatsoever. We have a bunch of people becoming
there's not no reason. That's my whole contention here. It's not a superstitious thing. It's that we don't actually have the foundational knowledge of what is the interactions of these compounds in our body.
For mumps, measles.
I understand. We have things that have shown to work, but we don't actually understand how it's affecting our body. That's why we see we have
100 years of data for the polio.
Any vaccine you get, they're going to hand you a pamphlet, and it's going to show you a whole litany of warning. This may cause internal bleeding. You might die.
Do you think that the scare around the measles vaccine is warranted?
Measles specifically, I think probably measles is probably particularly one of the safer.
So no, right? Do you believe that the vaccination rate is going down because of this silly rhetoric echoed by RFK?
But I believe that we should have a healthy level of skepticism. I think even in the measles vaccine, they're going to give you a whole litany of warnings in their pamphlet.
But we know that there's not a real risk to taking the measles vaccine, right? We know that, right? You're going to be genuine here, right? And not try to allude to the fact that it's not one of the most tested vaccines on Earth already?
No, I understand. That's why I said that one doesn't seem to be as potentially.
But we have a reduction in people taking it, right? Because of RFK, right?
No, we've had a significant increase in skepticism among the population for decades now in terms of taking the vaccines. The anti-vax
this is from
the term
2019. Decades is wrong. 2019 is when we've seen a huge decline in vaccination status, especially for children. And after Trump, Kelly fired the entire panel of people that for childhood vaccination, yeah, I think that was a big step backwards.
I think the step forward that we're making in actually understanding these vaccines and actually developing through AI these vaccines that actually target, the correct genetic markers of these diseases, I think that is good, and I think that will increase trust in vaccination. I think
you're running from what I'm saying, though. Do you think vaccines cause autism?
I think there is a case to be made that, putting too many into a newborn baby might alter give them a fever and have certain side effects. But in terms of, I'm not going to make a claim that it's a causative thing. I'm actually, my whole position is that my whole position is that we don't understand on the cellular level what is actually happening with any of these compounds that we're putting in our body, to the extent where we could make a determinate statement like that one way or another.
Do we not have evidence?
If you make the statement that you positively know that it doesn't do this, well, then you don't understand cellular biology here.
No, we have some of these are the most tested vaccines in the world. I'm gonna let Artist know. She's got a biology.
Oh, did you bring up a ringer?
I just know a lot about this. You keep saying that we just don't know what these vaccines do. We do. I don't understand
how could you say that we know what the vaccines do when we didn't even have a mapped 3D structure of these proteins that we're dealing with? Like, how could you say we know when we didn't even know how they interact in 3D space prior to AI?
Because we have outcomes. We have studies of millions, hundreds of millions, billions
of outcomes. But if you don't understand how the molecules are interacting with our cellular cells,
that's your new standard of evidence.
Then you don't know what is happening.
Right. Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question. When do you think that we mapped the nerve endings of the clitoris? When do you think we fully mapped that one?
What does that have to do with?
I just want to know, because apparently we don't know how things operate. And apparently we don't know how things operate unless we fully have mapped it. So when did we map all the nerve endings of the clitoris?
I don't know. What
in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It was literally in the last 2 years. So I guess we didn't know how that worked until the last 2 years.
Did AI help with that?
No, AI did not help that. Do you understand that AI is not actual artificial intelligence? It's based upon what we've put into the computer. We don't have true AI right now.
I'm not saying we have.
If AI is your new standard,
what I'm saying is that the AI is the ability to simulate these things in 3D space.
I get that. That's fun. That's fun. But we have trusted science for decades now. We have so much testing in this that you're saying that AI is your new standard of evidence to take a vaccine is fucking a vaccine we've had for 100 years. That's your new standard now.
No, my standard is that as we develop further understanding in these biological processes, then data is going to be revealed that, oh, well, things are happening that we didn't know about, and we are able to develop, like with the universal corona vaccine, we're able to develop new methodologies of neutralizing these issues. That
you just keep running back to some weird thing. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
If I may ask, what did the mapping exactly tell you? This new mapping, what did you learn from it that we didn't know before?
Yeah, so we understood how these molecules are interacting with the cell in 3D space. So when you have a twisted genetic code, right? The twisting and the 3D nature of it itself and the interactions between the markers themselves in 3D space affect outcomes. If you just look at it at a 2D space, then you don't see exactly
Nobody denies
how
that
genes
this is
are
helpful,
interacting with each
but
other.
this is not required.
You said nothing. You said absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
you told me nothing. We've unzipped DNA before. Like, you just saying, like, you didn't explain anything. You just said that we're able to look at it differently. This didn't tell me anything.
No, there are outcomes based on how they interact in 3D space rather than 2D space. I understand that we've
that's fun.
pulled
That's
out
helpful.
the string before.
We can get past that. That's helpful. I don't say that that's not true. Can we accept vaccines without the 3D mapping AI shit you're talking about? Is there all of a sudden a warranted skepticism about 100-year-old vaccines?
Well, there's always skepticism. It's just a matter of
warranted?
There's always a matter of its own cost-benefit analysis. So if based off of our limited knowledge and we see the benefits of vaccines, obviously I'm not against vaccines, but we have to address the fact that our knowledge is limited and that down the road...
You're running from the question. Do you need 3D mapping before taking a 100-year-old vaccine, a 100-year-old vaccine that we have shown no signs, little to no signs of negative effects?
Okay, how about I posit it in this way? What if the 3D map and the simulations revealed that it actually does have a previously unseen
would it be warranted if it caused 0 deaths or side effects?
Well, that's a cost-benefit analysis. You see, but what I'm saying is that what if the
how many people would have to die out of skepticism to make it worth it?
That's part of the cost-benefit analysis. You understand what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I know. And I'm saying that RFK, and especially because this has nothing to do with RFK's beliefs, he thinks that something that we used to put in vaccines pre-2001 caused autism in children, and that was already disproven, like wholly disproven. He published a paper on it anyway in 2005. These are the actions of a crazy person, like conspiracy theorist, and you somehow seem to still champion him, and it's wild.
Well, he isn't pushing public policy to deny people vaccines. People are.
He actually is.
He's not even saying don't take vaccines.
He has changed the childhood schedule for vaccines. Yes, he is.
And regardless, what he's doing in terms of fighting obesity through litigation against ultra-processed foods is the first time that anyone has even tried it. And I think that the chronic illnesses that are a result of our food source is going to be in your cost-benefit analysis is way worse and causes way more death than the people who don't take vaccines.
Listen, when the left tries it, it's fascism. When Michelle Obama even mentions it, talking about children's food in school, it's fascism. We have Fox News parroting points that I'm sure you were parroting right after they said them. Don't touch my French fries. Don't touch my salt. Don't touch my...
I never said don't touch my French fries, and I wasn't even against Michelle Obama with that.
This is something that is completely antithetical to the Republican Party. I don't think so, man.
Trump is in large part antithetical to the traditional Republican Party, which is why I like him.
Wait, can I ask a question really quick, Pickles? You keep mentioning ultra processed foods. I don't think you know the history of food like in America to be talking about what you've been talking about. So how would you address food deserts?
Food desert is just a matter of the ability to get food places, right?
Not necessarily. It's about the accessibility to food. Not
how to. You'd have to get the food there to increase the accessibility, right?
But it's not just that. It's like accessibility to transportation in order to get to the food. It's not just the food getting there. It's like accessibility to the food.
Yes, that's just transporting food ultimately, right?
Okay, so if I transport a food to a Walmart in the middle of nowhere, can people access it if they don't have transportation to it?
Do we have any kind of technologies that might be able to transport that food to them?
You mean like delivery systems?
I don't know. You tell me. Drones?
Not free delivery systems. No, we don't. Else? But you're also not addressing the topic. So how would you address the food desert problem? Because we do preservatives in a lot of American food because of how large the country is and because of how long we have to transport the food.
I know we do preservatives. Are you saying that all preservatives are necessary?
I'm saying that in America, we have to address the problem that we can't keep produce fresh for extended periods of time due to how long we have to transport it.
Yes. So how would we solve this?
I'm asking you.
Well, We could do it a number of ways. We have increased food production at local sources, which would require a lot of energy and indoor greenhouses and whatnot. We could utilize more modern methods of transportation to get food to people faster who truly lack the ability to drive to a grocery store. We could find different ways of having food with longer shelf lives via, AI simulating different configurations of the food in general.
We have people that can do the logistics. I don't know why AI would need to be brought into this. AI is trained by us. I don't know if you just don't understand how the AI works. We train the AI. It's just, I don't understand. My question to you is, okay, so like bananas. I think it would be cost beneficial to grow bananas in every state.
I don't know what the cost benefit analysis on bananas would be.
Well, we can only grow it in Hawaii and Florida, and there's one other small location that we can grow them in the United States. And there's a bunch of other crops that can only grow in certain areas in the United States. So I'm asking you, would it be cost beneficial to invest money into making sure that we had greenhouses and soil and everything that we need in order to grow bananas or coffee, for example, in certain locations? We can't grow coffee here in America.
Well, that's just a matter of again, a cost benefit analysis. If we had an energy source that was sufficient enough and essentially free to provide the energy required for that, then sure.
Wait, so you want to do a free energy source?
Yes, I would love to unlock nuclear fusion technology, which AI is doing.
AI, oh my God. AI can't unlock nuclear fusion.
It's already doing it.
How?
Well, one, it unlocked one of the greatest bottlenecks, which is how do we maintain the magnetic field within the reactor itself. And so what it does is it monitors the fluctuations of the magnetic field and makes micro adjustments in power output, via different places within the system to adjust for it and maintain a more stable field. So that's been the biggest thing. Humans don't have the ability to monitor that amount of data, the millions and billions of different data points simultaneously and make millisecond adjustments. So that's a huge one. In addition to that, it's also simulating and designing previously, never designed before metallurgy, and simulating and testing it and how it reacts to the harsh conditions within a nuclear fusion reactor.
Listen, they're doing this in China, right? Like it's not Trump doing this, right?
No.
Yeah, they're doing this in China. What? These types of breakthroughs with AI, with nuclear fission and all that stuff. Again, I don't know. I don't think that you could just.
They're doing that right here.
First of all, somebody just paid to kick you. You're welcome to come back anytime. But yeah, I just don't think that keep pointing at AI's advancements in technology and giving Trump all the credit for it is worth discussing. I think that we can look at all of the blunders Trump has made, and despite AI maybe saving his ass, I don't think Trump gets points for it. But thanks for coming up. W. Sarah's in the chat for the kick.
You know what? When true AI comes on the scene, I would love to have those discussions. But at this point, it's just programs that we've made. Like it's not this incredible feat of this man was making it out to be.
I'm also reading all of the. Yeah, much love, Artemis. Thank you.
No, you're good. What were you reading about?
Yeah, I'm just reading about all of the insane cuts Trump has done to the FDA, and that he doesn't get an attaboy for doing something that I'm sure liberals have been long wanting to do. I don't think he gets an attaboy for this.
No, I mean it's like he can do one good thing. I think it's good that he's allowing certain rugs to be looked at for treatments. I think that's good. I think that looking into that is good for treatment of PTSD and things like that. Sure. You can get a point here, but then all of the negative points don't outweigh the 1 point. So But anyway, yeah, thank you for having me up. I'm gonna drop back down into the comments. Go tap that screen, guys.
Much love, Artie.
Love you too. Bye.
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
I support the war in Iran, so I support some of his policies, yes.
Okay, why do you support the war in Iran?
I believe it's necessary, basically. I believe that the place is a hotbed of proxy conflict involving multiple states, not just the Shia militia, but also Russia.
I don't think this is doing much to directly combat that. I think that, first of all, Trump's motives for going into Iran have changed sevenfold, like since this has started. We've won this war, I think, 12 times now. And for you to just say, oh, the benefits of fucking up Iran's economy might involve defanging like terrorist groups, I don't think that's really going to do anything permanently. I think that Trump is creating more reasons for terrorist groups to hate us. We are doing terrorism, in fact. I just don't think that even our director of counterterrorism, Joe Kent, stepped down because he believed that Iran was not an imminent threat, and he couldn't, in good faith, continue his job working for Trump, even though he's a diehard Trumper.
First off, I would like to begin by thanking you for having me up here. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. I actually am not familiar with your stream. This is the first time I'm coming across you. Secondly, I would ask you, are you familiar with just the history of the proxy situation in the Middle East? Because it really is quite a convoluted and complex affair. And I can't, in good conscience, reduce the Iranian conflict to this singular conventional exchange with Iran simply because of the nature of the proxies and not just the axis of resistance, but also various efforts from other peer adversary from across the sea, such as Russia within Syria.
Yeah, I there's a lot of stuff to know there. There's a lot of proxy groups. There's a lot of terrorist groups in that region. I would never claim to know all of the history around it. No.
Are you familiar, at a minimum, are you familiar with the axis of resistance?
If that's an official term, no. But if you're generally like talking about Hezbollah and the Houthis and
Yes, it's Hezbollah, It's the Houthis, it's Hamas. They're the primary ones because they're the Shia militias of the region, which Iran has been funding for many, many years now.
As well as Israel, right?
Well, I mean, we back Israel to a great extent. Yeah, we
no, does Israel fund Hamas?
No.
If I fact check this right now, and it said that they've funded them to the tune of millions of dollars, would you?
It's possible that entities that Israel has given money to might have ended up there, but they have no incentive for them. No, not directly. They have no incentive to fund the Shia militant faction that's right on their border. It completely goes.
What if I told you Netanyahu
sense.
did this?
No. That's conspiratorial.
All right. So his government permitted and facilitated the transfer of millions of dollars to the Qatari financial aid into the Gaza Strip in 2018 onward, but roughly 5 million of this went to Hamas, right? Who is the government running Palestine? For the West Bank?
Okay, so let me ask you, you believe Palestine has only existed since what, like 1990s? And I'm not going to say I'm not a Zionist or anything of that nature, and I don't support the holy war being dragged down into the depths it's become. Obviously, there's a lot of war crimes, not just on one side, but on multiple sides. The problem I have in a big way with the modern discourse on the subject is people believe that this war is some new thing with Iran, but in reality, we've been waging a proxy war and a hybrid war against their efforts for quite a long time, and all the actors of the regions, in fact, do that. You're talking about Saudi Arabia, the UAE. It's not an isolated incident. It's not like just Israel, as opposed to actors like Hamas or Hezbollah or anything like that. Hezbollah, for what it's worth, spent an incredibly long time over in Syria, and actually Syria is probably where I would point the beginning of the current conflict, because it was only after Israel basically struck a logistics network that killed a bunch of Iranian people within Syria that were basically in the middle of a proxy war.
There's a current branch of Hamas from 2006 that is directly a response to our interactions in the Middle East.
Okay, well, perhaps you could say it's reactionary because proxies have to fight and with other proxies, but it's not like we are the reason for that. Arab hostilities and Arab extremism has been rampant in the Middle East, especially since the Soviet-Afghan war.
Cool. I still don't feel like this is a direct response to, you acknowledge that this is partially funded by Israel. It's partially due to us and Israel. I would say even largely due to us and Israel, maybe some from Russia, but mostly us and Israel, and our involvement, us going around and fucking around, doing torture programs, radicalizing them by killing innocent civilians, and then, watching these militia groups rise up.
We're not the ones that began radicalizing them. They were radicalizing themselves since the fall of the Ottoman Empire. Most of the territories within the region were basically drawn out on a map when the Ottoman Empire fell, and Britain and France split up the territories. When they divided the nations, they did it basically regardless of normal cultural lines, religious, ethnicity, anything of that nature. So it was already going to be a hotbed after the empires were done with the territory. And back then, Palestine was an internationally regulated region instead of Israel at that point. The Arab extremism was already alive and well.
I think you're being a little dishonest and disingenuous here.
In what sense exactly?
We have World War One. League of Nations placed a region under the British administration known as the Mandate for Palestine. This is before we gave Israel that little plot of land and told them that it was Israel.
Yeah, look at the Sykes-Picot agreement, or Sykes-Picot, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's Picot in French, but Picot. That's a secret agreement, basically, between English and France on how to divide up the territory. They did it, again, regardless of religious or cultural lines, basically creating the hotbed that exists today.
Do you think that our actions in the Middle East today, especially in Iran, has made more or less people radicalized against us?
Okay, so there's an argument, and I'm going to engage in this discussion with good faith. Okay, with you. I would say that there is definitely an argument to be made that when you meet force with force, whether in a conventional or a regular fashion, there is undoubtedly new militants and new resentments that will crop up. War spreads war. That's basically just how it is.
Not just
now,
war,
what
though.
you would
not just
well, no,
war.
what you would have
we
to
can talk
convince
about
me.
Civilian deaths. Right.
Okay, well, we could talk about civilian deaths, but civilians die in any conflict across the planet all throughout history. And if you want to talk about pure deaths, I mean, we went from an age in World War II where there was like 80 million people died in World War II. And since then, a fraction of those amount of people died because of proxy conflict, because of vicarious war, which became the standard ever since the global superpowers replaced the empires. When the US and USSR became standardized, they normalized proxy conflict. We would fight each other vicariously through different states: Korea, Vietnam, Soviet Afghanistan.
I'm not going to buy that this is just like all the same. No, there's a level of, especially with technology today, and like the fact that we are like deliberately targeting, and especially letting Israel deliberately target civilians. This radicalizes people. This creates more groups that hate us. Iran will be shouting death to America for another 50 years because of our indiscriminate bombings, especially killing a bunch of school kids. Now, blowing up infrastructure and desalination plants. This is inhumane. This is disgusting. What are we getting out of this? I don't know. If Iran falls to complete bankruptcy or something somehow tomorrow, we're still going to deal with an entire population of people who are going to go around and there's nothing we can say or do to make them not hate us.
They're
can
never
kill
going to
'em.
not hate us regardless, because as long as they're ruled by their theological elite instead of their technocrats, it is a faction that is cropping up within Iran. As long as they're ruled by the theological elite, they basically have a religious obligation, okay, to fight people like Israel, to fight people like Saudi Arabia. They have a religious obligation to do so, and an ideological obligation to do so. So whether or not we fight them when they happen to spend 10 or 20 years spending billions of dollars funding proxy militias, okay, it really doesn't change the fact that the aggression was going to happen regardless.
You know what actually does help stop these things? Soft power. Soft power.
Oh,
things that Trump cut. The things that Trump cut, and now we're going to be spending probably trillions of dollars undoing the things that Trump cut. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I actually just saw a study that certain types of brain damage lead to fundamental beliefs or like fundamentalist beliefs in certain religions. And I would say some of those might have to do with like extreme trauma or malnutrition, and all things that we addressed, all things that we addressed with soft power, and we're going to see more of now that we've taken that away. So yes, fundamentalist groups who are fundamentally Islam or Muslim or whatever, yes, there's going to be way more of that.
Okay, so I really respect your point, and I think it's honestly, I really like it in a lot of ways, because it shows a decent amount of nuance to be able to bring up soft power in a discussion like this. I think that soft power is the ideal strategy, and where soft power works, we try as much as possible to spread influence in a way that doesn't lead to conflict. We truly do, for the most part, try to avoid warfare. The problem is that basically all of the techniques that we need to deal with state actors and proxy actors that are dealing with basically like a lot of in deep-rooted resentments, religious fundamentalism, extremism. Like Iran is probably less extreme than the Shia-backed factions, but still, it's not like it's not a area where we can use soft power to effectively protect our strategic allies like Israel, like Saudi Arabia, like the UAE. Okay, and an insane amount of obviously resources comes out of the region. We're talking about a lot of oil. We're talking about quite a fair amount of lithium, which we're probably all holding in our hands right now, down there in the chat. And I think that the truth is, if we're going to talk about using not warfare, you go right back to going proxy conflict, because you have to use the lower end of the hard power spectrum. If the top end of the hard technique spectrum is basically out and out warfare, you have to use hybrid warfare or proxy warfare, which we have been doing. Do you know the year we signed the JCPOA? The very same year, 2015, Russia began a direct military intervention within Syria. This is not a conflict that's isolated between us and Iran. This is a very, very deep-rooted strategical conflict that has spanned the globe.
Yeah. I get that, and I don't think that was a. Do you have any justifications for the absence of the JCPOA at this point?
Well, yes. For example, the JCPOA had a sunset effect. Most of the qualities of the JCPOA would begin leaving the board at about 2020, and they would have finished in a meaningful sense around 2025. If you understand what sunset effect means, it basically just means that the agreements made within the JCPOA would have been piecemeal, slowly reduced.
Sure.
So, yeah.
That doesn't mean that they're going to be able to enrich uranium past a certain point, right? Still, it's 3.67 all the way to the end, right?
So, on the subject of Iran's willingness to basically go towards a nuclear power, if you're familiar with game theory or brinksmanship at all, basically the Iranians are not stupid. They've seen North Korea. They know what happens when what is labeled by some superpower as a rogue element achieves some type of nuclear power. They want to go right up to the edge of being able to create a nuclear weapon and remain there. Being a nuclear threshold state strategically benefits Iran much more than reaching it. But they want the nuclear material in case things go hot so that they could ensure their security if we ever did like a boots on the ground scenario.
What they wanted and what all of the signatories said before we pulled out was that they were adhering. And they wanted to adhere because we lifted all of the sanctions that allowed them to freely trade with a lot of the countries in the EU. That was something they desired far more than enriching uranium past 3.67. They didn't enrich uranium past 3.67 all the way to the date that Trump removed us. And I think they even adhered years after.
But that is true, and that is a fair point. And if the actual strategical objective of the country and our intention was purely to reduce their ability to make nuclear weapons, that would be true. The problem is that whole time that the agreement was in place, they were spending $1 billion a year, just about a little bit less, 800,000
on ballistics.
No, not on their missile magazines, although they've been producing a considerable amount of those as well, in addition to drones. But if we're just talking about the 800,000 I was talking about, that goes towards the proxy factions. Factions that were no, you say, hold on. They were
their
fighting
GDP is $400 billion. Who cares? $1 billion?
Because they were fighting across the entire Middle East, and it's a big amount of money to put towards private armies.
It's 0.4%
It's a
of their
big
GDP.
amount of money to put towards private armies.
It's not really. No,
yes.
No, it's not.
How is if you don't think the better part of $1 billion annually is a lot of money to put towards a private army?
No, not in relation to their GDP. No.
What does it matter if it's in relation to its GDP? You relate it to the amount of strategic effect it has on the battle space. You don't. The GDP is completely irrelevant to how effective
it is.
The proxy
it is. It's like saying I'm going to steal 2 cents from you because I think you're a dangerous propagandist.
Okay, so how does that make sense? Can you please explain that to me?
This did nothing.
It's like
but
the equivalent of saying, like, if I spent money on
it gave them a reason to enrich uranium, and now we have to go do what we're doing right now, and we're watching the whole world economy turn upside down.
Okay, if I was making $80,000 a year annually, and I spent $600 on a Glock, would that make that bullet less dangerous to people?
Right. And if I took $600 from you, would that do anything to your ability to buy a Glock?
What's your point exactly here? Are you trying to suggest the JCPOA was a better arrangement?
Yes, everybody agrees that. Yes.
Okay, that's great. It wouldn't exist right now because it would have finished the sunset in 2025. So what exactly are you arguing for?
So what we could do is we could just sign another one. We could have just signed another one, right?
You could just sign another one. Okay.
If they wanted to continue doing
sign another one.
If they wanted to continue to function as an economy without all of the sanctions, that was the agreement.
Do you know that Iran blew up a civilian airliner?
Okay, and?
Yeah. No, this is a very big and because it was a Ukrainian airliner and it was in response to other proxy and hybrid efforts. Believe me, the communication
and Russia has too, right? And so and so we blew up a boat.
Do you recognize that they use that as a means of communication?
And
what do you mean?
We do war crimes. Trump is the champion of war crimes. You're going to sit here and tell me that I should care about a fucking civilian plane?
Yes, I think any normal person would care about a civilian plane being blown up. That's hundreds of innocent people dying.
We should go to war and fuck up the whole world economy because they blew up a civilian plane a few years ago.
You're going to use whataboutism to defend you not giving a fuck about a plane being blown up?
Okay, what's worse, a plane being blown up or us strangling the island of Cuba and watching thousands of people die?
It doesn't change the fact that the plane was bad. It logically doesn't make sense.
It's like watching Chrissy Nome shoot a puppy and be like, hey, did you see this guy who kicked a dog?
Dude, both things can be bad, but when you speak like
it doesn't justify
you just make yourself sound like a fool.
No, it just doesn't justify our warning, Ron.
Okay, it doesn't justify the whataboutism. You don't make sense, dude. It's
like we're allowed to kill innocent people. We're gonna go kill a bunch of school children because how many people were in that plane? Was it over 180 school children?
Yeah, well, that was a huge accident by Palantir, and that was a huge mess up, and heads should roll about that. Obviously, Palantir screwed up. No one see. That's the thing. I can admit when we fuck up. You try to hide it behind
so what
rhetoric.
should happen to us
I know
now?
when something's wrong. When something's wrong, it's wrong. But however, the reason I agree that the war itself is basically viable is because it still has in its crosshairs the main strategic objective, which is to basically communicate with the state, change their behavior, asymmetrically reduce their ability to conventionally back up the proxy forces, which is how the war broke out to begin with.
Their economy, right? By fucking up their economy?
No, not just by messing up their economy, although I do respect the train of thought you're going down there. No, it's mainly by reducing their missile magazine capacity, their drone stocks, their gray hull navy has been almost completely wiped out, for example. It's by
I don't believe that anymore. If you believe that, I feel great for you. It must feel great to believe that. I don't believe it.
Well, okay. Well, you don't have to believe it, my friend. Ultimately,
I got a few dead Americans this week that would disagree with you, right?
Of course, there's you know what, and I'm happy that they get the right to be able to disagree with me and speak about the subject openly and be as impassioned as they are about it.
Yeah, I just don't think this is warranted. I don't think it's going to be doing anything at the end of the day. If you think that us being over there taking missiles to the face is objectively like the best outcome, cool. I don't know what to tell you. People are just dying to a higher degree right now on every corner of the world because of the increased gas price.
Well, the gas prices would go up a lot more in 20 years if we lose like Saudi Arabia security, the UAE security. We're building relationships with these nations that control a disgusting amount of oil and protecting them from a nation which is funding extremist factions. What do you mean it won't change?
That will never. Do you think, like, unless we are going to just flatten Iran, do you really think they're going to give up the right to close the Strait of Hormuz? By the way, if they had no military, how the fuck is it closed? How are they threatening us?
So here's the thing. It's not properly closed. What they're doing is they're waging an irregular piece of warfare on it. So instead of like actually having a true blockade, what they do is they make it just risky enough using missiles and drones to deter a lot of companies from investing in it, because losing even one like freighter is a huge loss to a company that will bullwhip into their profits for years. So all they have to do is make it just dangerous enough using area denial munitions like mines, for example,
or drones,
or irregular tactics.
They got $50,000 drones that we're shooting down with $1 million missiles. And in fact, we are more out of munitions than they are. We have like a 3-year runway now to rebuild the stock of munitions.
You think that we have less? You think that we have less munitions than Iran right now?
Yes, they have the capability of rebuilding and restocking drones faster than we can rebuild Tomahawk missiles. That is a fact. Yes.
Now that is true. That is true. I won't argue with that specific point, but that's also a Mott and Bailey. You're just retreating to something that's obvious.
What are the two main proponents of this war? What are the munitions being used?
Okay, so you think that the only way we destroy missiles is or drones is missiles, when the majority of the missiles have actually been taken down by jamming. We used electronic warfare right up until the point where the Chinese basically put that boat in there, and they got all the new guidance systems from lessons they learned in Ukraine, where they have multispectral, basically signal hopping targeting systems to be able to guide the
or fiber optic drones.
It's not. Well, fiber optics would be great in an environment where your enemy is only like a few kilometers away, like maybe like even 8 or 10 at the most would still be viable. But the fiber optic solutions for their drones and stuff like that isn't particularly viable in that environment. I do appreciate where you're going with it.
Yeah, I still don't believe that we're not going to get much out of this. I'm sure a whole society, even if they were on our side, they're not anymore. Especially after blowing up the bridges that led to all the ports. Their economy is in free fall, and they have every reason to just keep going now, right? The IRGC is not in any way, shape, or form going to be going away anytime soon because of this. As soon as they get the ability to, they will start funding or even just receiving more funding from China to fight back.
So
or
you're
Russia.
you're not entirely wrong. In fact, they had a big weapons shipment slated for 2027, for example, but it's probably going to be pushed back a ways. It's not about them not rearming. What it is about is asymmetrically reducing their capacity to assist the proxies using conventional means for a certain amount of time, which we can guarantee. And furthermore, by basically damaging their nation, we're altering the behavior of the state. See, in a lot of ways, portions of this war were not like proper, open, out and out conflict. They were more of like a very gradual escalation, where it's called brinksmanship, where basically you slowly ramp things up and communicate through the exchange, because we're not truly threatening their state. I mean, obviously part of the popular rhetoric was like, oh, well, we want a regime change and nuclear, blah, 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 blah. You know, that's all stuff that, you know,
I
people
think
can
that,
understand.
I think, yeah, and I think
That's
you're
not, but
like
that's not
coming
the
up with
actual,
justification. I think like
it's not me coming up with justifications. Who's smarter, you or the Pentagon? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I would go toe to toe with Pete Kegsbreath any day of the week. The guy seems pretty incompetent.
Okay.
I don't think
maybe you could go up against the drunk. I don't know, but
yeah,
as far as the Department of Defense,
yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that even if they were smarter, the Department of Defense, they don't really take very much direction outside of Trump. I think that we could easily just point to a few of their actions and scapegoat with Palantir or look at NATO, the rest of NATO, and be like, hey, nobody was told about our adventure out here or escapade into Iran. Nobody was told. None of our allies were told, hey, you might see a huge shortage of oil here in like one day. Nobody. And that is literally like half of the advice that you get from intelligence agencies. That is literally
funny.
50%
It's funny
of it.
you should say that, because it's not like all of our allies didn't know exactly what was going on between us and Iran. All the talking points I've made today with you, okay, in regards to the
They
hybrid
had no idea we
warfare
were
that
going to do
goes-
this.
You think
They had no idea.
Okay, well, you can listen, man. You can think what you want, but as far we were
That's what they said.
we were already in a hybrid and proxy war with them even before the conventional war started. So I want you to stop making this like
What do you
phantasmagorical delineation between conventional and irregular warfare.
What do you think happened that closed the Strait of Hormuz? And do you think our allies should have known that that was going to happen?
Wait, can you repeat the question? I apologize.
What happened that caused the closure of Strait of Hormuz? And do you think our allies should have known that before it happened?
Okay, obviously, Hormuz became immediately dangerous after the second tier of the conventional conflict began. It was a little bit dangerous in the first stage of the war in 2024, but obviously this one was significantly more disruptive to
I'm
trade.
done, MAGA. I'm done with MAGA trying to tell me that this has like been an ongoing thing and that this isn't new. Like Operation Epic Fury is absolutely a new thing.
Okay, well, the conventional war is. I'm not telling you that this version of the conventional war isn't new. But what about the conventional war in 2024, for instance? Like, we started a conflict with Iran back then, too. We started bombing them with B-2s and stuff back in 2024 when they had the missile exchanges with Israel. They launched all those ballistic missiles, 300 normal missiles, about 150 or 160 IRBM and SRBM. And then we aided Israel in the conventional exchange using basically air power and a few Arleigh Burks off the coast and a B-2 or two. It's not like you think like this is like a war that just happened, but we've been building up to it for a long time.
Like it is absolutely. I think the thing that most people glaze over is the resistance group that we installed, that we trained, that we sent to go protest the government, that those people were slaughtered. And Trump wants you to think that it was 52,000 people. He said it yesterday on Truth Social. 52,000 innocent civilians that he fucking sent. He sent them. It was actually like 9 or 10,000, by the way. But he wants you to think wrongly that this is why we're going to go help these people. We're going to go help them, and no one's allowed to kill them but us.
Okay, well, there's probably, I mean, as far as what Trump says, I think it's it's best to not take it overly seriously.
Then that's why Trump sucks, right? I think Trump is an absolute horrid leader. I think that nobody should be able to, with good conscience, get behind these actions in the Middle East. I have no confidence that his son-in-law is going to fucking negotiate a world peace. By the way, a guy who's a fucking like some
Yeah, that kid's
random
weird.
some investor in Florida is the guy
Yeah,
to
he
do
looks
it.
like Mark Zuckerberg.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think this is good. This is a literal fucking mess. This is a literal mess. He put J.D. Vance, who's in the Senate for 2 years, who just had a bunch of fake jobs before that. He and his son-in-law are going to negotiate on behalf of the United States. No.
You know what? Here's the thing. It's hard to convince me of that talking point because I don't believe in this episodic version of politics where the second the president changes, it's just like a brand new America. I mean, a conflict with Iran in the Middle East has been a joke in the American popular culture for like 25 years now, and probably for good reason.
You absolutely do get to say that with the Trump regime in place. You absolutely do when they've gutted and fired everybody who's not pro-Trump. Every single fucking one of them are now whitewashed and purity tested, and the only thing they care about is loyalty. So yes, you have a bunch of incompetent DEI fucking white men hired into these positions that have no reason to be there. So yes,
I agree.
You do get
and
to say
actually,
that.
you know what? I support your ability, and I agree with your point here. First off, that last remark, I'm 100% on board, and I wouldn't I wouldn't contest it. Two, I believe in what you're doing here. I believe you should have the right to be able to speak exactly how you want. I believe you should have the right to be able to communicate your ideas, your politic, and your viewpoint with you and your fellow Americans. So honestly, I don't really have any enmity towards you whatsoever. I mean, we might disagree on a few points. We might not see the Middle East or warfare itself or even the actions of our country in a similar light. But I want you to understand that when you're a statesman or a general or anything of that nature, the moral calculus shifts from basically your personal virtues and ethics to something of a utilitarian calculus, where you have to value things based on aggregate consequences. So it's not as simple as the rhetoric you're portraying it as, but also I want you to be able to speak out exactly the way you are now, because I think you're doing the right thing.
All right. Well, listen, somebody paid to kick you, and you're welcome back some other time. All right. Appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you for having me on, Pickles.
Anytime. W Moon in the chat, who paid an extra $10 for baby pickles. WWW. Thank you, Georgia, for all those hand hearts. Guys, my gift goal is 11 out of 20 hand hearts, y'all. I dare y'all to help me hit that. And I want to see fucking W Moons in YouTube as well. Thank you so much, Moon. And I'd hate to bring it up, but dude, and Joe Rogan just learned this the other day, and it made me so fucking mad. But Trump's own children are directly invested in the drone companies that the Department of Defense or War are using for this conflict. Trump has monetized every single action he's made as president, just about. And that's why I just can't start to fathom how people just have any sort of confidence in that, like, these people are making the right decisions behind closed doors. I don't at all. By the way, we're going to open up the Pickles cam. Oh my god, Pickles looks so cute right now. We're going to open up the Pickles cam real quick. Shout out to Moon as well for buying this Pickles cam for us. It literally doesn't get any better than this. Look at her. She's like tucked in right there. God damn it, Pickles. So cute. Look at that. I would die for Pickles. Me too. I would stab someone in the neck for Pickles. I'll put it up here. The phone line is on, by the way, chat. If you are trying to debate, it is up there. Let me join. I did not join with my other account. Also, Tanner, if you're still here, say something so I can give you the permissions. There we go. Chat, this is my main account, and one day we're going to go live on it again. I promise. Also, I do have a Cash App and Venmo and PayPal in my bio, and this is a community-funded page. If you guys are trying to support, it's the best way to do it. Refresh gift goal. Ugh. Y'all are the best. We're going to set up a new gift goal. Help me achieve my first goal and I'll sing a song. Why the fuck does it say that? I did not type that. What the fuck? Do I want the fluffy hat? I want this fluffy hat. Is this a hat? Let's try it out. Pickles looks like she needs a beer in her hand. Wait, I missed it. God damn it. April, thank you so much. That looks like a hat from like Dragon Ball Z or something. What song will you be singing us? I can't sing, y'all. Do you believe? Hold on. Test. Test. Free speech tax. Cecil, thank you for the free speech tax. Guys, this is not okay. Hold on. The pickles above the guest box? I think I can do that. There we go. I have a 5-hour drive, so hopefully you stay debating for a while. Thank you so much, Moon, for the starry fluffs. Thank you, Dolphin. Thank you, Marika. Thank y'all so much. And thank you for your heart me's. Here we go. That's what I want. Right there. Test. Do you believe in love after life? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think I'm strong enough, no. That's no auto-tune, by the way, chat. That's raw vocals. That's raw. Yeah. Why is it so good? Some people are just born different, dude. Chat, we're looking for Trump supporters. If you want to debate, hop in the box. Come tell me why you like Trump. One more game. All right, we're good. We're back. Sorry, I was on the phone. My mom called. My last caller was Fire. Excellent acapella. Thank you, Moon. Thank you. Trump is not the best president. He is a fucking wiener, dude. I didn't tell my mom y'all said hi. I told her I was live, though. Someone said Pickles is Dean times 1,000. I want to give you a big forehead kiss. I respect Dean. I respect Dean. Love Dean. But yeah. Dean needs to fucking follow me back. If anybody regularly donates or talks to Dean, you should whisper in his ear, like, hey, what's up with that? Where's the Pickles love at? The phone line is on, by the way. Hello, is this a Trump supporter? I think there's someone testing. Guys, can you take a peek at this guest in the box chat? Luke, if you're a Trump supporter, say that you're a Trump supporter. This account of yours doesn't follow me? All right, I got you. I got you. Tell Oscar. I don't want to put Oscar in that sitch. You don't see anyone in the box? There's somebody in the box. Yeah, are you a Trump supporter? And are you in my box? Hello, you're a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, I don't believe you. Hey, Mom. All right, sorry, y'all. Sorry, I'm on the phone. My mom needed help with something. Yeah, I don't believe that. Come on now. I'm Texan. You can't really trick me with a Southern accent. That's not real. How's your mom? DM me, please. I don't know.
Can you still see my face?
Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Hello?
Hi, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
Dad, can you still see my face?
All right, what do you like about Trump?
Dad, can you see my face?
I think he's a good leader, and I think I like what he's doing with Iran.
Dad, can you see me?
A little bit about you. What don't you like about Trump?
I think that one of Trump's greatest blunders is Iran, and I think you got a hard time making a case for it to be a good thing, especially since we don't really have like a decisive plan or like outcome that we're going for. In fact, like we just fucked up the memorandum of understanding, like the peace deal we were trying to do, right? So if we were willing to do a peace deal and make sure they got something like $300 billion, why is what we're doing now a better alternative? Like what makes you think that what we're doing is something that's imminent and necessary, especially something that's fucking up the world economy and killing people?
Well, first of all, our original plan we did have a plan with Iran. They had nuclear technology in development, and that was a threat to the United States and other ally countries, and we needed to get rid of that. And they were also sending us threats and telling us that they were going to use their nuclear tech
Are you
in a
over
way
18?
that... Say that again?
Are you over 18?
Yes.
Can I ask your age?
Yeah, I'm 19 and a half.
Doors, they don't even have doors.
All right.
Just
All right.
I turned 19 in...
You've got some background noise. You mind helping me out with that? Somebody next
that's
to you?
my friend.
it's just a stall.
Yeah, I can go in a different room if you want.
That'd be good.
That's my younger brother. I've got headphones in. All right, I'm in a different room. But yeah, so our original plan with Iran was to get rid of the nuclear tech that they were threatening us with. And so far we've done that and also gotten rid of the Ayatollah Khamenei guy.
Yeah. So we just have his son in power now, but we can talk about what do you think last November, when Tulsi Gabbard and everyone came out and said we destroyed all of their nuclear powers, their centrifuges. What makes you think now we need to just go back for some reason? And how come Joe Kent, the director of counterterrorism, the person who's literally the guy in charge of knowing this, stepped down and said, I don't agree that this is the right thing to do. There was no imminent threat. Could it be that this is not true?
Well, another thing, they're also doing something with the Strait of Hormuz, and they're also like attacking other surrounding countries, and they bombed
I think they're
Dubai.
retaliating. Yeah, they're retaliating.
True, but
none of that would have happened
wrong in the first place.
None of that would have happened if we never attacked them.
Correct, but since they retaliated, we are retaliating back.
What?
So
why go in the first place?
To get rid of the nuclear tech.
Yeah, but now you understand that that's debatably not a thing, right? Because our own people, even Tulsi Gabbard, came out and said it was all destroyed. Who's the director of national intelligence?
Yes, it is destroyed, but they were retaliating because in the destruction attack, we killed their leader, and so they retaliated, bombed a bunch of our bases, bombed Dubai.
Why do it in the first place?
To get rid of nuclear tech. It's a threat
we already
race.
established that it's not really even a thing. Like, if Tulsi Gabbard already said it was gone, and then Joe Kent, the director of counterterrorism, said that that's not really a thing, even though they were appointed by Trump. We bombed a bunch of schoolgirls. We bunched some desalination plants, some bridges.
I'm pretty sure I heard that we took out the nuclear tech program. along with a bunch of their major scientists
Do you think
and
that
leaders.
some of this might be? Do you remember when we went to the Middle East for 20 years for weapons of mass destruction?
Yes.
Do you think that they actually had weapons of mass destruction?
I mean, they could have. It's a massive
Did we ever
possibility.
find any?
I don't recall.
We didn't. We didn't.
Okay.
Do you think that they're lying to you?
I don't know. No, I don't. I personally, in my opinion, I don't think I'm being lied to.
So Trump, who even his own people that he appointed don't agree with him, and Trump, the prolific liar, scam artist, con man, is telling the truth.
I would not call him a scam artist. But yeah, I think he's telling the truth.
You know, Trump's been like sued over 4,000 times since the 90s. He got caught with a fraudulent university. He got caught stealing from a children's cancer charity. Like, he no longer even operate a charity in New York. He had 88 pending felonies before he became president. He lies consistently about the amount of deaths in Iran, by the way, that were civilian deaths. Like yesterday, he said for like the 30th time, 52,000 civilians were killed. It's literally just a lot. You could just Google this. Iran says it's like something like 6,000 people, but the UN says it's somewhere like 9. I'm thinking that might be more true than 52,000, right? He like literally lied about that, which is one of the motives for him to go into the Middle East. But there's no way he's lying about this other thing.
I mean, I guess it's a possibility, but in my opinion, I don't think he's lying.
I don't know, man. Hey, did you know that Donald Trump's sons, both of them, have a lot of investments in like drones?
Yes.
Do you think that they're making money when he goes and does this stuff in the Middle East that uses drones?
I mean, they make a little bit of money, but
What's
I
a
don't
little
see
bit?
it as him.
Like a few
Whatever
billion?
they
Few
invested
billion?
in. Well, his net worth is a few billion. Their net worth is nowhere close to $1 billion.
Do you know that
Last
Trump
time I
made
checked.
more money last year than he has his entire life put together?
Yeah.
And you still think that this is all on the up and up?
Yes.
I got some magic beans to sell you. You want some?
Not really. But, well, there is one more thing about the border crisis. I like that he's deporting the illegals. I think that's pretty good.
How do you think his deportations measure up to like Biden and Obama's?
Well, for Biden or Trump is fixing the mistakes that Biden and Kamala screwed up.
How many deportations do you think he's gotten to, man?
I haven't really kept up on the news lately, but I guess probably maybe 50,000.
It's higher than that, but it would be really bad for you if it was 50,000. Did you know
Okay.
Biden did like millions and millions of deportations? I think like 3.5 million.
I don't know about that. Where'd you get your information on that?
That's public information, man. DHS.
You might want to recheck your source.
I debate this all day, every day. I've yet to have somebody show me a different number.
All right. Hold on. Let me fact check for you.
4.4 to 4.6.
All right. Let's see. So, yeah, it says 4.4 for Biden, and for Trump,
It's like 625K, right?
I'm checking that right now. But to be fair, that was during Biden's both terms.
He only had one term.
Sorry, I messed up there. I goofed. I'm tired. That was during his full term, and Trump is only halfway through his term.
Yeah, but if you if he's going to the same trajectory, still doesn't even come close.
All right. So according to NBC News, during this term, or combining both of Trump's terms, he has deported over 10 million illegal immigrants.
Hold on. That's not true either. What? Where did you get that?
NBCnews.com. The article says President Donald J. Trump came into office promising the largest mass deportation in U.S. history, targeting more than 10 million unauthorized migrants.
That doesn't mean he deported 10 million.
It says targeting and deporting.
There's a total of 15 million in this country right now, and during Trump's entire term, I think the net change was like 200K.
Well, I can't find anywhere that mentions the amount of Trump's deportations.
Okay, so all 4 years he had 1.5 million deportations. Okay. And then this term it's 600,000. So even with more years, Biden did more. Trump did less. Far less.
But Biden also let in a bunch more immigrants.
So you can't really control, like during COVID, and a lot of people, I think, are propagandized really hard right now on the border. But during COVID, we had a lot of people try to come to the country, but Biden had that under control. By the time he left, he had it right back down to the levels where Trump had it when Trump left. I think that this is just a weird thing to obsess over, to be honest.
True, but Biden let in over 50 million immigrants. A lot of them
that's not true.
Are still so that
that's no one even says that.
All right, hold on. How many illegal immigrants got across before during Biden's. All right, so my bad. I made a mistake. He let in over 8 million, but that's more than what he deported.
Yeah, so Biden had a 50% deportation rate at the border. So, like, if you were not allowed in, he didn't let you in. What you're reading is the amount of people who were let in under existing law. So they weren't illegal.
All right, man. Well, I guess good job. I'm still not completely convinced, but you did a great job at really tearing down my arguments there. So I got to give you credit for that. I wasn't exactly prepared, but that was pretty good. So, yeah. Have a good night.
All right, you too, bub. Let's not forget the 500,000 children they misplaced. Never look for never. So you're talking about 350 or 250,000 children. None of them were displaced. This is an administrative thing. This was a nice lie that you fell for. I feel sorry for you. But if you fact check this, this is simply people who were not given a notice to appear in court. They weren't missing. They weren't being sex trafficked or put into slave trade. It's just a silly number they threw at you, and you were dumb enough to believe it. Half of which were under the Trump era, under the Trump administration. That 250,000 number, half of that comes from Trump's years. You sweet spirit. You poor thing. Every Democrat voted no. Not one of them voted yes to find missing kids. Are you talking about the Epstein files? Has Trump released those yet? Dang. I guess not, huh? Dang. He should probably do that if he really cared about kids getting trafficked. Yeah, so Muse, you're just talking about paperwork. They didn't actually go and find 100,000 missing children. Do you really believe that? God damn, dude. Trump supporters are fucking stupid. They're fucking dumb, chat. You think we'd have like some videos of like some kids coming out from like underground shelters or something, but like, thank God you saved me. 147,000? Oh! Oh God!
You saved me.
Hello, are you a Trump supporter? Working in weed farms? You think that we had 147,000 kids working in weed farms? Hello, are you a Trump supporter? Alright, I think this person's interested in just... Yeah. Okay. The claim that the Trump administration found or recovered... I'm gonna have to show you this because you guys are just so dumb. You little cutie pies. It's just so bad out there, y'all. It's just procedural tracking gaps other than actual vanishings. So, like, people who are here, who we just, like, don't have their address or something. It wasn't Trump throwing on a cape with Kash Patel and finding missing children. Yeah, Muse, they lied to you, buddy. I'm so sorry, man. Imagine just like coming to political lives every day and having to be embarrassed with fact checks all day. All day. It stems from a claim of Department of Homeland Security asserting that 450,000 unaccompanied immigrant minors went missing, which is important, these quotation marks here, that roughly 146,000 have been located. These figures misinterpret an August 2024 DHS Office Inspector General report that pointed out between 2019, Trump years, 2020 as well, in 2023 that they did not issue immigration court notices or track appearances for hundreds of thousands of minors released to domestic sponsors. They weren't kidnapped. They weren't missing. You guys are profoundly stupid. You fucking dumb fucks. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't trust the Trump administration with any information to find any sort of undocumented child, because we know what he does with undocumented migrants. He sends them to fucking CCOT. He sends them to Libya and Rwanda and Uganda. We're good. Yeah. Keep your fucking dirty dick beaters off of children, Trump. Yeah, he trafficked. Only my president's allowed to traffic children.
Can you hear me?
I sure can. What would
I
you like
like
to
the
get
new
dunked
hat.
on today, Thomas?
Dude, you've never, ever won a debate, not one time, man. Expected to drop me, mute me, and so on. Same as usual. I like the new hat, though.
Thanks. What do you want to get owned on today?
I'm gonna leave it up to you. What do you want to talk about? What's on your mind this week? What's your exhibit A complaint?
Oh, I don't know. Trump firing a whole board of election people that oversaw the integrity of our elections after he started talking about how unsafe they were.
Yeah. So, is it true that Hillary Clinton may have said a similar thing that Trump didn't win legitimately? I mean, hasn't this gone on? I mean, why do you
That's
guys?
not what I asked about. I'm talking about him firing people.
Well, the big picture is that, we're accusing election fraud. You guys accuse election fraud. It used to be if you accuse election fraud, you're a fascist. But now it's a little more.
Do we have any evidence
there's
yet,
a-
or is it still just Trump?
Well, I've said this many times. Fraud is extremely hard to prove, right? Very hard to prove. And
No, it's not.
there's a lot of word games with it. Widespread fraud. It has to be widespread. You have to catch it widespread. It's impossible to really catch widespread
I would really
fraud.
like for it to be meaningful. Yeah, if you want to start making people doubt our democratic processes, I would really like it to be meaningful. And like if it's longer than a day, say if he like cried about it for 6 years and still doesn't have evidence and is also firing the people who made these things more secure. I don't know, man. I just think that
So,
I
when
think
you
there's
say
two different
no
standards
evidence,
there.
so again, pay attention, follow. You said no evidence of any fraud whatsoever. Is that even possible? I mean, that's impossible. There's always some fraud. So when you
Said meaningful.
wholesale,
Meaningful.
what's that?
Do you have any
Meaningful.
meaningful
So
evidence? Yeah.
now we get to play a game with who considers what's meaningful, right?
Yes.
What's
do you
widespread?
think
right?
that one
And then
person
let me just
voting
finish.
twice?
Let me just finish. And
No,
then
no.
what happens is okay.
Do you think that one person voting twice is something that we need to like gut an entire federal agency over?
Well, that's now you're being a black and white
So what
thinker.
about 10?
That's not good.
What
That's
about
not the way
100?
this country wasn't built on black and white thinking, right? It was you have to take things into consideration. You have to do things, you have to make efforts. So it's not all like, let's just, cancel everybody. And, that's not the way it works. It's a process, right? So
no,
right?
you
You're
don't
talking
have
about
much. The most you have is, so what you're saying already, before we even get into this, is you don't really have anything more than a couple people, a dozen people, 20 people, 50 people, 100?
well, look, I'm not a professional. I just think it's funny if you look
So
at the
no.
big picture. Okay, so it is a lot of controlling the narrative, cutting people off. You don't even let me finish my sentence as usual. But I think that it's understandable. I mean, there's two things that is here. Let's not pretend 2020 wasn't the first time that we did widespread.
All right, I'm just gonna stop the conversation. I literally just got my account back from talking about this. I probably shouldn't have gone down that road. Plus, Thomas does not deserve a platform on anybody's life. NW Moon for the pre-kick for Cecil, because she doesn't want my live to get taken down. I don't know. Yeah. He's a fascist. I'll take that as an apology, Cecil. I've never been able to win a bit. You're right. That's why tons of people watch me, and because I just like getting kicked in the nuts by childish men all day. When it was W Georgia for immediate kicking. Hold on. Yeah, they flag the shit out of me. Even if I like very loosely talk about, even if I talk about not wanting to talk about it, I get flagged. I just got my account back tonight. I don't feel like doing it again. Pre-kick is brilliant. W Moon. Right, chat? Chat, if you guys want to support me, Cash App Venmo's in the bio. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on. I need to leave. I don't know. Maybe an hour and a half. I need to leave in an hour and a half to go to the movie. I'm going to go see the Odyssey. I was watching YouTube lives this morning for my fix. I'm sorry. It looks good. Oh, I'm so excited. Odyssey is awesome. Oh, I'll stream it in Discord. I'll bring a tripod and I'll stream it on my iPhone in Discord. I'll do it in landscape. I'm seeing it at IMAX, but it's not 70mm IMAX. 70mm IMAX is sold out for like 2 weeks. I don't even know. I don't even think you can buy. You probably can. I checked. It's close enough. All right, let's see.
Oh shit, I'm up. Oh fuck. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm brushing my teeth. Hold on. Ah. Yo, what's up?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
All right, that's can't do it. Am I missing out on not seeing IMAX? Sometimes it's time to bust out your vibrator. And he decided that time was now. That's all right. Thank you, D, for catching that. He's not wrong. Tell me what the new trailer for Dune Part 3 looks at the Odyssey Pickles. I'll be expecting a report. Tell me what the new trailer for Dune Part 3 looks. Type it again. Type it again. Should mods still be on Stalker Watch? Yes. You didn't see a Dune 3 preview? Oh, if it looks good on IMAX screen. God, I'm not gonna lie, I might enjoy Dune better. Dune is just so cool. It's just so cool. Like, the idea of space crack that fuels interstellar travel is just fucking cool. Yeah, Lauren. I haven't seen the Odyssey. I'll see it tonight. And the butthole worms, yes. And the Mujahideen. The Mujahideen. And the Harkonnens. Watch out for the Other Mother trailer. And the Bene Gesserit. The nasty women, the Bene Gesserit. Is this next guest safe, chat? Halfway to 10s instead of a 25. I don't know. No, Fuzzard. Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Are you over 18?
Yes.
How old are you?
18.
What's your birthday?
January 20th, 2008.
What year did you graduate?
2026.
Okay. What do you like about Trump?
I need cheaper gas.
Doesn't Trump fuck that up?
No, he gave me cheaper gas.
It's more
Gas
expensive.
here? No, it's like 75 cents a gallon where I live.
What?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Tennessee. Oh, he's looking it up. I'm lying my
Tennessee
ass off.
averages are 367.
Yeah, 67 cents. I get cheaper gas because I'm a member at Kroger. And
All right. Muse, do you think that we should attack the Islamic Republic of Japan? The Democrats are Islamic regime. What? God, they just eat propaganda like golly, dude. Like it's a funnel cake at the fair. I hate all religions. I hate all of them. But I especially hate Christianity. I fucking can't stand it. And I'm sorry. It's not a reflection of how much I love y'all, but I hate it. Stay out of my shit. The guy behind Trump that mocked him in his speech today is going viral. Oh. I can't stand it. I just can't. Somebody, I was listening to Dean debate a little bit. No, it was Parker. I think it was Parker. And somebody came up, she's like, you don't get it. We're Christian, therefore you can't change our mind. I was like, exactly. Exactly. Ah! Oscar had with one lady. No, I didn't. Want to see Motley Crue on Saturday? Just thought I'd share. W Fuzz. This bracelet that I have on is a pull pass, and I just don't feel like taking it off because I kind of like it. Is that chill? Should I just keep it? Should I just rock it? See how long I can go? It's a pool pass to get into the pool. I'm just gonna rock it. It was $40, all right? So I'm gonna get my $40 out of it. Why don't I say why being Democrat is better? I'm like one of the few lives that does that, actually. I'm one of the few lives that advocates for Democrat versus Republicans. I think Democrats are just objectively better at everything. And I mean just fucking literally everything. Yeah, you can think, I don't know. You should thank Hitler for the great program for children and people working out in the parks. You should thank him for that. Yeah, Nazi youth, thank you. Should think without that, we wouldn't have Munich. We wouldn't have like great architecture, without, you know, you should thank Mussolini for all that great architecture he built in Italy. You should thank him. You should thank Hitler for the Autobahn. Is Oktoberfest from Hitler? Oh. How much do you think that's due from both parties moving right? I don't think Joe Biden moved right. I mean, he was kind of a moderate, but I wouldn't say that he moved right from Obama. Vote Democrat and always vote Democrat. Always. Until there's a party left of Democrats, vote Democrat every time. If you want a better economy, easily, just vote Democrat. Like, we have AI now. Fact check me on it. We have AI. Just ask it. Just say, hey, who's better at the economy? There's like not even a fucking like discussion to be had. It's Democrats every time. Every time. We don't know who's running the country right now. Trump's had like fucking 4 MRIs this year? Are you shitting me? Are you still feigning like outrage? Are you fucking shitting my dick? Trump, who can't complete a thought without talking about everything in the Rolodex, his talking points from 4 years ago. I've talked to Benjamin the other day. Trump literally can't speak a sentence without going over like arbitrary accomplishments incoherently. Just arbitrary bullshit. there was a clip from Fox and Friends the other day where he called in about Lindsey Graham. I think he said one sentence about Lindsey Graham. And he just goes on these weird fucking... it's just a roller coaster of just straight up, just shit. Just random shit. He is mad. He is crazy. I would have Joe back 1,000 times before Trump. I would have him back 1,000 times. I would have somebody walk out his dead corpse and like shake his arm waving before Trump. I guess that's 16. Ban. Yes, Mook. Like, I would literally say almost anybody. Like, my little brother. My youngest brother, who does tattoos. I think it would be far better than Trump. The Imperial Shogunate of Luxembourg. But that's not tedious. Yeah, if you could read, you'd be really upset, dude. If you could read and understand like economic macro indicators, if you could, I don't know, read legislation, you'd be real upset, dude. Guys, I'm getting fucking... I'm getting paranoid about my stalker. I think I'm gonna hop off, y'all. I'm gonna hop off. Chat, I love you. I'm gonna go to the movie. I'm just gonna record my outing. I'm gonna go to the movie. I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna go to the mall. We'll go hang out at the mall for a little bit. We'll just go fuck around. I'll stream that. I'll see you guys on live on my main account. Love you, chat.